about 10 more skill checkpoints right now.
Okay. Okay, thank you. Wow, you guys quietened down even before I said to quieten down. So if we can get started, if you want to take your seats, more seats here in the front row. Um, Thank you all for coming and being here. My name is Ruben Ratnasingham. I'm the Assistant Dean for Health Product Innovation at the Dell Medical School, and I head up the Texas Health Catalyst program together with my colleagues in the Office of Innovation and Entrepreneurship at the Dell Medical School. So today represents the final stretch of our spring cycle. We have 2 cycles a year, and you'll hear about amazing UT health innovations today and the people behind them. You'll also hear from UT and Dell Med leadership and some of my colleagues in the Office of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. As usual, we have a very packed agenda, but I do want to spend a couple of minutes with some key acknowledgements. I think, as most of you know, the Texas Health Catalyst program is administered at the Dell Medical School, but it's truly a campus. What? Oh. It's not me. Okay, there's some music apparently. Okay, but we partner across campus. And specifically, we collaborate and get support from the Cockrell School of Engineering, the College of Natural Science, the College of Pharmacy, as well as Discovery to Impact. And Discovery Impact sort of holds the tech transfer and commercialization arm of UT. So we collaborate really, it's truly a campus-wide program. And obviously, we continue to collaborate and partner with key stakeholders in our broader ecosystem, like Play and others. And I want to give a very special thank you to our sponsors today. We have a whole bunch of new ones. So the first, Organoid Sciences, it's a Korean-based organoid company that's really trying to advance cutting-edge tissue modeling. And they just recently went public, and they're looking to set up their US site here with us in Austin. We have Meggie Health, that's a UK-based company that is developing AI platforms to support maternal health. And again, they're looking to launch and set up this US site here with us in Austin, which is fantastic. We have PMCS, a long-time Austin-based software company that essentially makes most of the software for HHS and the state of Texas, and including clinical management software as well. And of course, we have, and finally, we have Schwegman, Lundberg, and Wussner, an amazing IP firm that is helping our researchers think about how to build and grow their IP portfolio. Importantly, these sponsors are not just supporting this event and the amazing food and drink that you're going to have afterwards. They are truly partnering with us to help our project teams move their ideas into something that is market ready. So we're truly appreciative of all of them, and thank you for believing in our mission. With that, I would like to really kick off the event. I'm very excited to introduce you to Mike Ryan. Mike is our Chief Administrative and Information Officer. He's also the Chief Healthcare Technologist, and he comes to us with a ton of innovation and technology experience. It's a pleasure to invite Mike to come on stage to talk to you about the future of Dell Med and the UT Medical Center. Thank you, Mike.
All right, thank you, Ruben. So as Ruben said, I'm the Chief Administrative Officer and CIO at Dell Med, and on behalf of Dr. Lucanetti, my physician partner, who's the Dean of the Medical School and the Senior Vice President for Health Affairs at the University of Texas at Austin, welcome to the Texas Health Catalyst Rodeo and Roundup and Rodeo. As you know, and as Ruben was talking, this is really an event to bridge the gap between the amazing discoveries that happen here in research and translating those into real-world application and solutions that can impact lives here as well as around the world. I recently read an article that said Austin is the #1 city to start a business. It was, for those of you that follow the Macomb School of Business on LinkedIn, they highlighted the article. So why Austin? Well, it's partly because of the business climate, both here in Austin and in Texas, but importantly, it's about the vibrant innovation and entrepreneurial culture and spirit that exists here in Austin. And you layer on top of that the flagship university campus of the University of Texas as a top-tier research university. It's just an amazing place to do this work. I've often been in awe at the amount of health-related research that happens here at this university across so many domains and disciplines, the medical school, pharmacy, nursing, social work, computer science, robotics, engineering, information sciences. The list goes on and on. It's amazing. All at a university that doesn't have a hospital. So imagine what that could look like if there was a hospital connected with that research enterprise. And that's exactly what we're doing at Dell Medical School. We are on the cusp now of beginning the development of a really remarkable academic medical center here in Austin with our sister institution and partner in this, MD Anderson. So we'll be bringing the #1 brand in cancer care along with the specialty hospital of the University of Texas to create this academic medical center and a new system of care for Austin and Central Texas that will ultimately become a destination, we think, for patients from around the country and likely around the world. This is a really unique opportunity for us. It is truly a greenfield opportunity. As far as I know, this is the only place that is building a new hospital that doesn't have a hospital, which has both its advantages and disadvantages. But one of the things that we're doing is we're really trying to reimagine how this hospital can function as it relates to the experience, as it relates to innovation, as it relates to bringing research and education into the medical center. And it's really being developed from the ground up as a AI native hospital. So what does that mean? Well, we are really thinking hard about how to design this so that it not only can take advantage of the AI that is here today, but is ready for the AI of the future. Some of it we don't even know what it is. And that it's also a place where we can invent the next generation of AI and really help define the future of healthcare right here in Austin. So we're embarking on this bold journey with MD Anderson. I really don't want you to think about it as a hospital or a couple of hospitals. It's really a net new academic medical center that's been designed from the ground up for the kinds of things that I talked about. It's not a hospital, it's a campus. It will be a convener. It will be a magnet for research, innovation, investment, and really will become an anchor part of the life sciences strategy that's developing here in Austin. We are really excited about it. It's a big undertaking. It'll take probably 5 years to get this up and running, but we are on the cusp of starting that journey now. Going forward, we anticipate that we will be able to bring innovation directly into what we're doing at Dell Medical School, and we don't want to wait 5 years to be able to do that. We will do some of that in our current practices. Ruben talked about all the other partners that come to bear on this. So this isn't 5 years away. I think the time is now, and we're at the cusp of doing that. I'm going to give you just 2 examples of how we're thinking about the future of health and what we're doing differently in this medical center. One is we have this concept we've developed called the building as part of the care team. So what does that mean? Well, what it means is we will be instrumenting this entire facility to be aware of everything that's going on from a patient perspective, from a physician perspective, so that the building itself can help improve the experience for patients and visitors and scientists and researchers and faculty, as well as being a rich source for research of the future. This is a really bold kind of undertaking, and we've talked with other really recent builds around the country, and there's pockets of this going on, but really nothing at the scale that we're talking about. Another concept is this concept of care beyond the walls. We don't really want to think of this as an episodic kind of medical center where you come, you get something, and you go. We really want to have these lifelong relationships with our patients, and health tech and these kinds of innovations will help patients throughout their life journey, not just when they have an episodic experience with us. So that's where we're headed in terms of the medical center. We're really excited to do this. We're excited to do it with MD Anderson, and importantly here with the University of Texas at Austin. So today is really, I think, an exciting and important day to be able to see some of the real-life examples of things that we're talking about and that the Texas Health Catalyst helps bring together and to make happen. The innovations that you'll see today are really a living embodiment of the types of things that we're doing here and that we want to scale out and do more and more of in the future. So my call to all of you is a call to collaborate, whether you're a researcher, a clinician, an industry leader, a student, an investor. This is an opportunity to collaborate with others and build that network to be able to do more in the future. So it's a great time to be in Austin. Austin is a great place to do this kind of work. We're proud to be a sponsoring organization for the Texas Health Catalyst. Thank you all for coming. Hope you have a great day. Hook 'em.
Thank you. Thank you, Mike. It was great. Okay, I'm back. But just for a minute, this is one of my favorite parts of the program, so I insist on doing it. So, what I'm going to talk about is truly and acknowledge is truly the backbone of the program, which is the mentors that we have to guide our project teams. So Keegan Kinney, one of my colleagues, works very hard to try to help me make fun slides, which I think many of you know, fun is not me really, but it's like, and it's great. So thank you, Keegan, for doing this. So every cycle, we select mentors from a pool of now 350 individuals who essentially give their time, their expertise, and their network to maximize the clinical relevance and commercial viability of our project teams. In this cycle, we chose 22 mentors, and I don't have time to go through all of them, but I felt that I always like to highlight a few. Right. So first, so these are the names of all 22. Fantastic. We could not do this without them. First, Gail Page, sitting right here. Gail has been with us from the beginning. She has been a mentor to our project, the Texas Health Catalyst program, and to me personally. And a couple of years ago, Gail moved to Florida, but she still mentors our projects, and she flies here. She's here today. She's right here because she's so supportive of the program. And Gail is a entrepreneur and a very experienced diagnostics life science executive, and like I go to her for almost everything. So thank you, Gail. And Gail is actually helping with a AI platform that is a screening tool for liver disease that you'll hear about. Also on the same project is someone from our own ranks, Dr. Crystal Brown, who's a frontline hepatologist who's working with the same project team to figure out how that AI screening tool could fit within her clinical workflow, which is critical. And this is a fun one. Michelle French is a fashion designer and producer in Austin, very well-known fashion designer, and she's helping with one of our projects that requires a wearable that needs to be comfortable and empathetic to the patient. So she's helping them design that solution. We also have folks who are in high-up leadership in med tech and tech, like Dan Ledeen, who's the head of strategy at Medtronic, helping with a surgical tool. Ben Fauber, who's the head of academic partnerships at NVIDIA, helping our AI project teams understand how to best commercialize AI solutions. And also, we have a couple of projects that are solutions, compelling, valuable solutions that are to be implemented in a community health setting. And as you know, that can be very kind of tough when it comes to identifying business models for solutions like that. But we can tap into folks like Kasim Butt, who's a frontline clinician, community clinician, who's an entrepreneur in his own right, who has developed solutions in a community health setting to help these teams navigate that challenging task. So I just want to highlight some of them, and now I'll kick off by introducing you to Praneeth Sarja, who is our lead health associate, to talk about another very important program we have embedded within Texas Health Catalyst, which around our health associates. So it's Praneeth.
Thank you, Ruben. Hi, everyone. I'm Praneeth Sarja. I'm the lead health associate of the Texas Health Catalyst program, as well as a current rising undergraduate senior here at UT Austin. It's been my pleasure to be part of this program for the past 3 years now, in which my role is primarily to lead the Health Associate program with Martin, Nicole, and Ruben, which is an experiential learning program that trains these pre-health undergraduate and graduate students who are interested in health innovation to not only observe these wonderful health innovation finalist teams we have here today, but also contribute to them. This year's cohort of 23 exceptional undergraduate and graduate students have worked alongside the 8 finalist teams, and you'll be hearing from those health associates, which they'll talk about like what they've done to help their team, as well as introduce their team. If you see any of these students here today, please, I encourage you to talk with them. They're here to learn from you, connect with you. So talk to them, and then maybe they can learn something from you, and then maybe you can learn something from them. But yeah, thank you, and I'll hand it off to Nicole, who will get us started.
Thank you, Praneeth, and thank you everyone again for coming. We're so happy to have you here. So my name is Nicole Clark. I'm the Director of Programs and Partnerships within the office, and I lead the operations of the Texas Health Catalyst. So I just wanted to give you all a rundown of what we can expect for today. So we will have the health associates do a 60-second intro, followed by the 3-minute pitches from our, 3-minute pitches from our presenting teams. And then we will have a quick 2-minute Q&A from our judges. We have 9 teams that are set to present, broken up into 2 cohorts. So I will kick off the first cohort, and then Okay, so these are the award categories that the judges are going to be scoring on. And then there is a Posse's Choice Award, and so you all will get a chance to vote for your favorite after each group of presentations happens. Okay, so for the first cohort, we have these 4 judges identified that are going to be scoring. We have Jim Gerasi here, we have Mike Millard, Maurice McCreary, and Arturo Pena. And so they're going to be scoring the presentations, but then any of the judges are going to be able to ask any questions that they might have. So with that, I will kick it off by introducing our health associate, Camila Pozo, to introduce her team. Camila?
Thank you, Nicole. Hello, everyone. My name is Camila, and my fellow health associates are Manal and Kishan. Over the summer, we've had the privilege to work with Cerebrosonics. They've taught us how this project can make it into the market and change lives. Strokes are the second leading cause of disability around the world. However, Cerebrosonic will minimize time diagnosis and expedite treatment. We've gotten closer to this dream thanks to the mentorship of Travis Lord, Kristen Backer, Elisa Maldonado, and Ben Fauber. As health associates, we foster collaboration between team and mentors. We assisted them in the preparation of their pitch, and we research avenues for future funding. However, this wasn't only a mentorship experience for Cerebrosonic, it was a mentorship experience for us. Thank you to Cerebrosonic for the advice that they've passed us about life and about career as undergraduate students. And now, I would like to introduce Bharat Mathur, the medical robotist behind this project.
Hello. I'm sure we all know someone who's had a stroke. With 15 million cases in the world every year, they're very common. They leave 6 million people dead, another 6 million disabled for the rest of their lives. Why are they so bad? Well, even though we have very advanced stroke treatments, they're only good if delivered on time. There are three types of strokes, each requiring different treatments, available at very different hospitals. So taking the patient to the right one is incredibly important. The limitations of current diagnostic tools cause treatment delays across the continuum of care, from EMS, the first point of contact, to EDs, and finally, while the patient's recovering in the ICU. There's no way to continuously monitor the progression or complications that may occur in about 50% of all patients. Our solution is a portable brain imaging system, which is wearable, delivers bedside-readable, real-time scans, and is non-ionizing, allowing for repeat, short-interval ICU monitoring. We give the 3 things required to make any treatment decision for any kind of medical pathology, which is the what, which is differentiating stroke types, the where, localization in 3D space, and the severity, which is the how big, which is volumetric measurements for hemorrhages or any cerebral edema or measurement of intracranial structures. We have proof of concept data from IRB-approved studies at 2 centers, which was Wake Forest and UT Austin. We were recently awarded a major grant from the American Heart Association and did a very successful FDA pre-sub just this month. We're on track for our first 510K at the end of 2026. So the dream is to be in every ambulance assisting with pre-hospital triage for strokes. But we start off with a very small baby step, going towards existing exams at stroke centers, which are already done on recovering stroke patients. The limitation being they don't have enough sonographers that are trained to do these exams, so a lot of centers that should be doing them are unable to, and even the ones that are able to are only able to do them on select patients. There is a clear regulatory pathway through which was validated through the Q-Sub. We would be going for a Class 2 510K with no clinical trials needed. Alongside the clinical value propositions, we also bring in very strong financial incentives for the hospitals through direct CPT reimbursement for the scans that we're going for, alongside excellent savings on the DRG through efficiency, through reduced length of stay, and finally, by improving quality of care, we improve the hospital's bonus on Medicare value-based plans. The team has extensive experience bringing medical devices like surgical robots and medical imaging systems to market. We also have a very strong strategic and clinical advisory board and have a joint partnership with one of the leading ultrasound manufacturers in the world, both for development and manufacturing. We're actively seeking partnerships as we move forward, help us make disabilities from strokes a thing of the past. Thank you.
Okay, so then I can help facilitate the questions. Who has a question? Anyone? Mike? No, say hello. Oh, Maurice?
Can you talk about the training that is required for safe operation?
Sure.
Again, this is what kind of staff, what kind of training, and how long would that take to implement?
Nicole, how do I go back to my slide? Well, the system is robotic and fully autonomous. It doesn't require a skilled person, just a trained person to put it on. Everything else is fully autonomous. The acquisition is completely autonomous, and the scans, we deliver cross-sectional views just like a CT. So they're sent away to a remote radiologist, or in case of a hospital, they're just sent to the PAC server, and the rest of the workflow is exactly like how it would be for CT or MRI. Yeah.
Anything else? Yes.
Yeah, I was going to ask, similar to his question, I heard you say a couple of different, actually a lot of things. It's a great presentation, but this is primarily intended for the pre-hospital setting, or
That's the dream.
Okay.
But it's applicable to every setting. So the entire continuum of care, which is EMS, EDs, ICU, and also post-stroke monitoring for long-term post-acute care. We start off in ICUs with cerebrovascular flow monitoring, which is called a transcranial Doppler exam right now. Again, very difficult to do, and it's very limited in terms of what they can do right with the existing technology. We just scale that up with the volumetric reconstructions, ease of use, and full autonomy.
Great, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, so next up we have Anshu Yedavelli to introduce her team. So I'll have Anshu come up.
Hello, everyone. My name is Anshu Yedavelli, and along with my fellow health associates, CD and Hanif, we supported the Compriva team, who seek to support hidradenitis suppurativa patients, or HS. These patients have limited options, but we know that Compriva is an actionable solution to the open wounds that HS causes. As a team still in the prototype stage, we helped support them and worked with the mentors, our amazing mentors, Russell Brown, Lego Gopal Krishnan, and Michelle French, on market validation, prototype development, and path to market. Thus, we worked to bridge the gap between feedback and implementation, focusing goals on a viable product. Later, we provided our own input and feedback into the pitch itself. We have seen the development of the solution, and through this process, we learned different things such as the different routes to market, market validation, and market research as a whole. We have even learned and provided ideas in prototype design. We have seen the development of the solution and are grateful to support unique innovation in the field of dermatology. I'd love to now pass it over to Nuha to share more about the impactful solution of Compriva.
All right, good afternoon, everybody. I'm excited to share Compriva on behalf of my team. Imagine hiding a painful skin condition from your spouse for 2 years, sleeping with towels every night to soak up the constant drainage, taking out the trash in the middle of the night to hide the odor. One of our patients with hidradenitis suppurativa felt like they had to do just that. HS is a chronic skin condition marked by painful lumps and abscesses, but the hardest part is the relentless, unpredictable drainage from these open wounds. Thick, foul-smelling fluid can seep into clothes, bedding, and dressings, disrupting daily life. Many patients have to give clothes that they love and pieces of their identity. HS affects 1 in 100 people, yet current options remain limited. Cheap gauze and tape can further irritate the skin. On the other hand, specialized garments like HydroWear can cost over $1,000 a month, even with insurance. And that's why at Compriva, we plan to bridge this gap. This is a heat map highlighting where our symptoms are most severe, areas that are prone to friction and drainage and dressing challenges. And we're engineering, and that our first product is a discreet, affordable garment targeting under the arm and under the breast. We're engineering a custom fabric blend to help minimize odor, secure dressings, and manage drainage. We have gone through 4 design iterations based on feedback from patients and HS specialists. The dermatologists we polled, 100% of them said that they would recommend a product like ours to their patients. And we're not stopping here. We plan to scale our product to different areas of HS and apply this new technology in other markets like wound care and sports injuries. We're a team of 5 health designers trained at UT with diverse backgrounds from medicine to engineering and interior design. Dr. Pena, our CEO, is a dermatologist who specializes in HS. And we've co-designed every step with patients to ensure that our product truly meets their needs. We've addressed expert feedback based on with the guidance of our mentors. First, market validation. Our customers are all HS patients, and we're starting with plus-size women, which accounts for 75% of the population, with plans to scale to all 3.3 million with a system of products. We'll launch a DTC for affordability while exploring partnerships with wound care companies to bundle compatible dressings. We're working with the UT's Discovery to Impact and filing a provisional patent. And lastly, most HS patients aren't aware that a garment solution exists. And that's where we're building a patient-facing brand by running usability studies, leveraging social media and clinic partnerships to drive early engagement. We're currently in phase 1, where we plan to use this grant to continue our research in developing and finalizing our tech pack and fabric development. In the next phase, we'll manufacture our MVP and conduct usability studies, as well as scale our designs. And the last phase, we'll launch our $60 over-the-counter garment and expand assortments into higher price points that are still attainable. For those living with HS, Compriva offers relief, confidence, and a better quality of life. Join us in making that future real.
Thank you, Nuha.
Didn't want that uncomfortable silence. No, great job. So I heard you say something really important about the potential to expand the usability of it to other areas beyond HS. So I don't want to divert attention from HS, but can you expand on that a little bit?
Yeah, and so our product has this kind of unique ability in terms of it's basically holding dressings in place and then making sure that it's not irritating the skin, but still has the compression aspect. And essentially, we can use this in other markets instead of just a dressing. We can use maybe an ice pack or a heat pack and be able to hold it in place in like very difficult anatomical areas like under the arm, given like the concavity of it. We're able to still address those needs with the same product.
I just wanted to know about the garment, a little bit more information about that. It's a great presentation, and I like the fact that it's really focused on doing something for patients who've been suffering with this way. Is the garment reusable? Is it washable? Is it antimicrobial? Does it last a long time?
Yeah, and so that is a really good big point because affordability and sustainability is it's what we've learned from patient interviews and one of their needs. And so as we're engineering our fabric blend, we do plan to make it sustainable and reusable. And as well as the antimicrobial aspects, we're exploring fabrics that have those properties and that can also minimize odor in that both ways. So be able to target patients' needs in multiple areas.
So tell me more about the awareness campaign. So if this is something that folks are maybe a little bit embarrassed about, and we all know that healthcare and doctors love change, how do you get folks aware of this to actually use this?
Yeah, that is such an important part because of the shame aspect. So there are campaigns and patient advocacy groups. The National HS Conference is one thing, the National HS Foundation, where they have a conference every year to help support these patients and bringing awareness about that. Our wonderful PI and CEO, Dr. Pena, has a great relationship with her patients, and through that, we've been able to interview them and really understand their needs, and it has built a very strong relationship already through that, which we hope to expand beyond.
Thank you. Great presentation.
Thank you.
Okay, so next we're gonna have Tara Chabra come up to introduce her team. Tara.
Hi everyone, I'm Tara, and with my fellow associate Mihir, we worked with Dr. Ari Asta on FibroX, an AI tool that uses routine lab data for early assessment of fatty liver disease risk. With support from our mentors, Elisa, Kristen, Gail, Madhu, and Dr. Brown, We helped identify market gaps and refine FibroX's path to market. We worked on defining its role in clinical workflows across care settings and explored EHR integration strategies and use cases like cost reduction and in healthcare systems. We also gained insight into the business model and regulatory strategy, including its FDA Class 1 510K exempt status and multi-channel revenue model. This experience gave us hands-on exposure into how early-stage health innovation moves towards clinical adoption, and we're so grateful for the opportunity. I'll now pass it on to Dr. Asta.
Thank you, Tara. I appreciate you. Hey, everybody. I'm Ari, and I created Fibrox. And it's going to be a new AI tool that's going to change the way that we care for patients with MASLD, or also commonly known as fatty liver disease. So 1 in 3 adults lives with MASLD right now. MASLD is the #1 cause of chronic liver disease and the #1 reason for need for liver transplantation. And what's really unfortunate is that 70 to 90% of those patients remain completely undetected because they're asymptomatic. Let me go back. Great. It goes in different order. I don't know. The problem with that is that MASLD, 30% of patients with MASLD can progress to their fibrotic subtype, which is MASH. And unfortunately, patients can also go on to develop cirrhosis, which is irreversible liver scarring. And cirrhosis right now in the US is the 9th leading cause of death. Now, the problem with this is that MASLD is costing the US $100 billion in healthcare-related costs. And MASLD is seeing right now the highest momentum in development of non-invasive tests as well as clinical trials. But we're really flying blind since we're not catching not even the majority of these patients. Now, and this is what led me to develop Fibrox. And Fibrox is an externally validated AI tool that uses routine lab values already present in the patient's chart, which includes liver enzymes, hemoglobin A1C, platelets, and creatinine. Now, compared to guideline-directed scoring systems as well as very costly imaging, Fibrox is meant to be EMR ready, fully automated and scalable for patient care at the front lines. Currently, our data shows, we've already published a paper on this last year, and we're working on a second paper, and it's now showing that it can predict advanced fibrosis as well as the guideline recommended scoring tools. And interestingly, it's better at predicting mortality outcomes. This is our team. We're a group of scientists, physicians like myself, and industry leaders, and we know how to scale and how to develop tools like diagnostic tools like Fibrox and take it to the front lines. Some of the feedback that we got from our mentors, 3 main things. Fibrox would be a class 1 in 510K exempt, which means a faster entry to market. Our method of revenue and monetization would be like 3-fold. One would be directly from patient care, delivering this tool for patients. The other one will be clinical trial enrichment, finding those patients that would qualify for these clinical trials. And the third one would be from licensing. And the third one is, one of the most important ones is, how do I adapt this technology and not disrupt with the current tools that we have? How do we bring this technology and integrate it with the current EMR? And right now, we're currently asking for $50,000 of non-dilutive funding, and I'm more than happy to talk about what that means. Thank you. Alrighty, here you go.
Okay, since you handed it off to me, I'll take the first question. Thank you, I appreciate it. Great job and a very interesting outcome. Can you talk some more about the scoring tools that are out there now and what makes this so much better than those?
Yeah, of course. So the current scoring systems right now are, the ones recommended by the guideline are Fibrosis-4. It's an index that uses 4 lab values, platelets, liver enzymes. And what's different about this is that whereas, and I'm more than happy to go back, whereas the scores, the original scores, I guess I don't know how to use this, Whereas the original scores only show you an outcome, binary outcome, I show you an outcome and also what role do individual input data play into driving the prediction, right? So, and right there in the middle is FIT4, predicting like a yes or no, like advanced fibrosis or not. And right there is Fibrox, not only showing you, yes, the outcome is X, but also this is what is it about the patient and their data points that's driving the prediction. So this is what we're calling explainable AI. It's a new method that we want to build into our AI models in order to build clinician trust and show what's going on behind these AI models in order to bypass the black box problem. Yeah, thanks.
How do you train your AI models?
Yeah, it's a classical machine learning model called extreme gradient boosting. And it's like a logistic regression of sorts, but it can handle nonlinear data. And what I did to train it, and it's in that first paper that I published, it's basically, I trained it on the NHANES dataset, which is a national a survey of patients in the US. And it's a simple training, and then I externally validated it twice with 2 different cohorts outside of the NHANES data, but it's a simple, classical machine learning model, nothing fancy. I think if I could get specific, there's the training algorithm that I used was to maximize sensitivity and positive predictive value, which I wouldn't want to miss patients. Yeah.
Okay, so just a quick question about sensitivity and specificity, and you don't have to go into all of that, but a lot of these AI tools cast too broad a net, and we end up having problematic conversations with patients because they're overly inclusive. So I wonder if you guys have thought about that or looked at that with your tool.
Like overly inclusive in terms of they kind of fix. Oh, actually, it's funny that you asked that. You said that because the original training cohort was less than 200 individuals, and I thought that the training cohort was going to be too small. But when I externally validated it with 2 cohorts, it actually performed as well-established scoring tools. So I think I'm more than happy to talk about it outside. But I think it's something about how you train the model, not necessarily quantity, but also the quality of the data that you use to train the model. Yeah. Oh my God, thanks. Yeah, sorry, I don't know how to navigate through slides. Thank you, guys.
Okay, so the last group to round out this cohort, I'm going to pass it off to Andrew Ferrer, who will introduce his team. Andrew.
Hello, everyone. My name's Andrew, and I worked alongside my fellow health associates, Jamie and Nishta. We've been working with Dr. Wei Li's group in mechanical engineering on developing a manufacturing device that improves peak surgical implants. We worked alongside Dr. Nishi Viswanathan, Ross Garrett, and Elisa Maldonado-Homertz, who gave us invaluable insights into all facets of our device, including market identification, regulatory pathways, and manufacturing of the technology. From feedback from our mentors, we focused on identifying a specific market for our product and the regulatory pathways needed to get our device to market. As a manufacturing technology, our team also explored different pathways for commercialization through licensing our technology, contracting the manufacturing out, as well as starting our own company. This experience has taught us how to bridge engineering innovation with real clinical needs. And now I'll hand it over to Dr. Li to share more about our technology.
Thank you, Andrew. Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Wei Li. I'm a faculty member of mechanical engineering here at UT. So I'm presenting manufacturing technology, biomimetic bone implants using PEEK. So PEEK is a high-strength polymeric material, plastics, that is being considered as a very preferred choice by surgeons to metal implants for many areas of bone implants. So the global market for PEEK implant is experiencing significant increase. So currently the market for PEEK implant is about $965 million, but it's projected to $1.52 billion by 2030. So the problem for PEEK is because of the chemical inertness of PEEK and also the smooth surface of solid. So it will have a limitation on osseous integration and prevent the cell to attach to the implants very well. That results in limited long-term fixation and sometimes implant failure. So there is technology developed on the market trying to make the surface rougher so that you have little porous structure on the surface to improve also integration. But the current technology is only generating 2 layers, very thin layers of surface roughness, which is not sufficient for bone ingrowth. So our solution is a biomimetic porous PEEK. We are developing a hybrid manufacturing technology using immiscible polymer blending and 3D printing. So we can tailor pore size, porosity, and we can enhance mechanical strength and improve also integration. We have conducted a preliminary study, so you can see from the table our characteristics of PEEK implant match very closely to the human bone. So our team includes complementary expertise. Dr. Vincent Wang is a spine surgeon. My specialty is materials manufacturing, and we have Professor Marianne Tilton, who is specializing in bone tissue engineering and bone cell biology. So we got very good feedback from our mentors, as you can see from this slide. In our path to market, so first of all, we want to optimize our manufacturing technology, and then we want to conduct biocompatibility and performance testing. And with the data, we're going to seek 510K clearance. We have conducted a preliminary search. We are confident that our implant is going to be 510K cleared, so we don't have to conduct clinical study. Our initial market target is going to be spine surgery based on our surgeons' expertise. And our commercialization options, we have 3 we're considering. Thank you so much. I'd be happy to take any questions.
What can you tell me about IP and defensibility of your solution versus what's available today?
So we have filed IP application. It's going to be a worldwide patent. Is in process now.
Great presentation. Appreciate the approach. Is there any concern or consideration now that you're having this porous structure in the body for the risk of infection based on the approach that you're taking?
So our manufacturing process does involve some steps that we need to validate to see whether the resultant scaffold is going to be, or the implant is going to be biocompatible.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, so that concludes our first cohort of presentations. I will ask, well, first let's do the audience choice QR code right there. So pull out your phone and pick your favorite from that first group of presentations. Good job, you guys. And then, if I may, while y'all are doing that, the first group of judges are going to go and deliberate with our lead associate, Praneeth, who is right there. Okay, it looks like 90% of the phones are down. So with that, I will introduce Dr. Stephen Ecker, the Associate Dean for Innovation and Entrepreneurship, for our commercial break.
Thanks, everybody. I'm really excited to have you. It's been a journey. I've been here not quite 2 years, and every time we do this, it's more people, it's exciting, and we continue to work with partners in town and in Texas and elsewhere. So I just want to give a perspective. This is, when we think about health innovation, we often describe it as bench to bedside, and that's something I call the 2B model. But in reality, in part because of the biases of academia, we actually don't see the 3rd B, which is the bench to business to bedside. And what we're seeing today in all these studies and all these examples is how that 3B component is critical. We're doing with the Texas Health Catalyst and other components in the Office of Innovation Entrepreneurship is to embed this 3B model as early as possible in the projects, because we think that gives you the greatest chance of success down the road. That includes, by the way, the greatest chance of the research success, because you're also integrating all of the awesome understanding and science that comes from outside of academia in these teams. Okay, so how are we actually doing that? We're implementing this in a simple framework of programs, partners, and people. And the Texas Health Catalyst represents all of that. What do I mean by that? This is the kind of slide, some of you have seen this before, where the Texas Health Catalyst, we work on are we solving the right problem with the right solution, and do we have the right go-to-market strategy? In other words, do you have all three of those Bs from the beginning? And this is work that Ruben and Nicole and others have been doing for many years. We are building and accelerating. That's from brainstorming with partners. Are you actually really working on the right problem? Or do we have solutions through programs like the Texas Health Catalyst? And do we have the right commercialization partners? And all three of these are alive and well and working great. So I just want to comment about partnerships for a minute. That was programs. I'm talking about partnerships. So because of the partnerships, I'm just going to use some numbers. So to date, as of today, we've had, by our calculations, 604 applications to the Texas Health Catalyst for about a decade. Thanks to many of you in the room, there's 355 of our registered clinical and industry advisors. We've actually hit 10,000 mentorship hours. That's freaking amazing. It's awesome. We've awarded funding to 68. We've helped more. A number of the applicants we will help without a formal funding, and we've currently handed out just under $1.5 million in the history of the program. What are the outcomes from that? IC Squared a couple years ago did an assessment of the productivity for invention, and we're looking at a 4x rate compared to comparable approaches. We've actually hit $94 million in follow-on funding. We can itemize that. We were told by some of the current past Texas Health Catalysts that we're undercounting that. It's probably closer to 100 million. 19 companies have been created and 9 are in the clinic today. Okay, what we've done recently is looked at this over time. This is a pretty interesting slide, looking at the 10 years and looking at where that 94 million of follow-on funding, it's come over time. It takes a while for these programs, these early stage projects, to actually turn into real functioning ideas that then have the opportunity to garner follow-on funding. So right now, of our 68, 25 have substantial follow-on funding. So not all the projects you see are going to actually be great ideas. That's actually what we expect. We want our teams to do really great, innovative work. Sometimes you try the experiment and it doesn't work, right? So that's the way it works from the front. But I thought this was interesting. We're actually, I don't know if Mark's here, but Mark Arnold's challenged us to what's the actual true return on investment, $2 back to UT. I don't know the answer to that, but these $95 million are the dollars that these teams essentially after the Texas Health Catalyst put money in the follow-on. We think that's a pretty good 65x follow-on. I'm going to highlight this middle part because really that's the key. Ruben's talking about it. I just want to say one really critical thing, which is thank you. Thank you to all of you, because it is one of the key differentiators. I've actually done national analyses on this. I actually know of no comparable program in the United States, okay? So if you know of something, that'd be great. But at this stage and the commitment, it seems to be amazing. Okay, so not sure about the animations. A lot of our partners are both internal and external. We heard Ruben talked about a fair about them. And then for your commercial break, right? I want to remind you of the wonderful sponsors for today. That's why your tickets were free, right? So, and thank you, but they are more than the finances, right? They are truly partners. And I want to point out Nucleate is this national nonprofit for graduate students. And I really want to highlight that it's not just projects, but it's about talent, right, that we're trying to build and support here. And with that, just a quick intro to the health innovation pathway that Martin Rotman, you can see a number of the associates here. The program here runs from pre-health through faculty. And so we actually have build mindsets with health associates. We actually have active 3 different programs in the medical school years. We actually have ongoing collaborative programs, including Nexus. You're going to hear about one of the stories, my Nexus pin if you're interested. Happy to tell you about partnerships with the pharmacy and with Combs. We have residence programs that are ongoing. That's probably the newest area for us to build out. And then working with the faculty, not just with the programs, but with recruitment and retaining top faculty. So what's next? I just want to offer a couple of things. So in the Austin ecosystem, this was an assessment I did. We actually have an amazing number of health robotic companies. All these slides are available. Interesting. So, a couple of these are actually UT spinouts. A number of these are UT affiliates. And when you add that plus Texas Robotics, in the world of AI, Ruben got his first autonomous drive on the way here today. We're in a world of that. So our fall call is going to be in advancing robotic capabilities, trust and automated care, telemedicine, human technology interfaces, access, workforce integration. So that's our call. You're going to learn more about it. We're actually going to be accepting applications in August, and we're excited to have that rolling. So we think that it's very timely. We think we have everything in place. We have awesome partners like Capital Factory and this community. We think there's going to be a transformative opportunity where our job is to help sort of nucleate that. I just want to say that looking a little bit further ahead, I just want to point out a couple of things that are here you may not be aware of, but are really being a differentiator. First is that the Texas Institute for Electronics is this 3D fab plant that DARPA has funded. It's the largest grant that UT has ever received, $800 million. It's going online within a year. In 1 to 3 years, there should be access to be able to use this to make custom chips, which would be ideal for healthcare spaces. There's a lot of that as an opportunity coming up. And then last year, the Texas Quantum Institute was launched, and there's enormous opportunities in biology, in quantum. So quantum biology, I think, is going to be, these are just ideas. These are areas that we know we have them. These are areas we're going to be nucleating. We're hoping that there will be exciting Texas Health Catalyst applications in these areas coming up. So finalizing, this is a call to action. My job is to hope that you can experience and understand what we're doing, connect with us. We are doing our best to be at many, many different channels. And then we're also, that barcode is there for you to give us feedback. We are interested in hearing what are we doing that could be better, what are their opportunities, are there partnerships, are there other components, are there people you can introduce us to from your network that we may not know. All of those are greatly appreciated. And with that, your commercial break is over, and I'm gonna hand it off to the next stage. Thank you.
Thanks, Steve. Right. Hello, everybody. I'm Martin Roppman. I'm the Assistant Dean for Medical Innovation and Entrepreneurship in the Office of Innovation and Entrepreneurship. And as part of my role is to help with the people empowerment, so that the health innovation pathway that we've mentioned. And the very first of the teams that we'll be presenting later on is part of that Nexus team, which is one of those teams that have been one of those programs that have been mentioned in the health innovation pathway. But before we go there, before we go there, I would like to introduce our judges for the second group of teams that we have here to pitch. On right, you see 3 of our amazing judges. The first one being Sophie Heathen. Dr. Heathen is from the University of Baylor. We also have Sharon Ricks from Dell Medical School herself. And then we have Salim Sayed, who is also from Dell Med and from UT Health. So I thank you very much for your insights in advance to the teams that we have coming up in pitch. So we have 5 teams coming to pitch for the second half of our presentations. And like I said, the first of that team is, the first team in that group is from the Nexus program. The Nexus program is a collaboration between the Dell Medical School, so we send our medical students and our residents and as well as the McCombs School of Business, so we get MBA students from that group, and the pharmacy, so we get PharmD and PhD students from the College of Pharmacy, and they get together and work on healthcare innovations, some of which have come through the Texas Health Catalyst or will eventually end up in the Texas Health Catalyst and move forward from there. And so it's my pleasure to introduce Grace and Freddie from our Nexus team, who will come and present on pegylated tobramycin, and in particular, how the Nexus program has influenced their work.
Hi, everyone. My name is Grace Wang, and this is Freddie Guerrero. And we're here today on behalf of Team Peg Antics, which includes 3 additional interdisciplinary teammates, to present to you pegylated tobramycin for chronic lung infections, a 2025 Nexus Cycle innovation that actually originated here at UT in the Smythe Lab within the College of Pharmacy. Currently, patients with chronic lung infections experience poor drug penetration, antibiotic resistance, and high toxicity risk. Our solution? Pegylated tobramycin, which enhances bacterial biofilm penetration and allows for targeted release at the site, thereby reducing oto and nephrotoxicity. Now, to ensure we were solving the right problem, we conducted 20 customer discovery interviews with various industry professionals, 3 of which we highlight here. Dr. Katie Tran informed us of key regulatory hurdles we'd have to overcome. Dr. Jason Fulmer helped us pivot from cystic fibrosis to primary ciliary dyskinesia and Cartagner's patients. And finally, Dr. Stephen Shoemaker, whom we actually ended up interviewing twice, helped confirm the need for this pivot, emphasizing how saturated the cystic fibrosis market already was with competitors.
All right, so now that we were confident with our customer base, our next step was to finalize our antibiotic formulation. So currently we're focusing on a low barrier indication to gain access to the market, but we absolutely see this becoming a launching pad for a scalable pegylated antibiotic platform at some point. And currently we're looking to build partnerships with groups like the Gates Foundation, CARB-X, and the PCD Foundation as we look for support entering clinical trials. And at the same time, we're starting to advance regulatory strategy that would keep in mind seeking orphan drug status, which would allow us that expedited approval and expanded access to our drug once approved. As far as Nexus, the program itself gave us far more than what we could actually learn within a classroom setting. We were able to perform customer discovery, we were able to connect with local bioscience leaders, and we also got some on-site visits to startups. So we were able to take all of this and actually refine our value proposition, which we started with, and we had to focus on a pivot, which was a big thing that we learned. All right, so we came up with our pegylated tobramycin significantly improves the eradication of chronic pulmonary pseudomonas infections in patients with Cartagner syndrome and other pulmonary diseases. Pegylation boosts antimicrobial activity against Pseudomonas aeruginosa around 7-fold, and compared to unmodified tobramycin, enabling lower antibiotic doses, fewer treatments, and a reduction of medical burden on patients. So this is a unique environment which allows people like me, a 4th-year student now, to actually see what it looks like to bring a drug to development and finish from a different perspective. So if you know anybody who would benefit from this, whether that's a graduate student, whether that is a bioscience company who's looking to host students, or if you just have an innovation that you'd like to push forward in the world, bring it to Nexus and we'd love to help you out. There will be a QR code at the very end where you can sign up and get more information. Thank you.
Thank you. Do you have any competitors, and what's your strategy to mitigate imitation in the future?
So in terms of competitors, we are pegylating the currently known tobramycin, which is an antibiotic, but we will have higher penetration rates in terms of biofilm eradication, so that sets us apart. We specifically chose to enter the Cartagner's market to avoid competition with cystic fibrosis like CFTR modulators and other competitors that we've found through customer discovery interviews. And in terms of IP protection, the Smythe Lab has over 200 patents already filed, so we're more than familiar with protecting our technology. And we also have 4 provisional patents that were filed in the past decade just surrounding pegylated tobramycin.
So thanks for the presentation. Real quick, since you guys pivoted from CF, what's the market or potential market like for this disease that you're targeting?
Yeah, so currently there are around 5,000 to 6,000 Cartagner's patients in the US alone, and we chose to enter the market with this orphan population because of the many benefits that targeting an orphan drug population provides, such as 7 years of exclusive market access in the US, tax cuts, and additional guarantees. But eventually we hope to expand to include all non-CF bronchiectasis patients, which is a huge population in the world. So we're estimating a potential market in the billions in the future.
Do you have any Austin-related components? I want to see whether you're eligible for the Heart of Austin Award.
Well, actually, the Nexus program is supposed to, can I answer this? Okay. So the Nexus program is a program for students to conduct customer discovery. So if you saw on the earlier side, we had 5 students from all disciplines in Austin. So like Dell Med students, pharmacy students. Freddie here is doing his master's in public health and his pharmacy degree at UT. So, I mean, if we represent the youth of population in Austin, then I say, yeah, we do have an Austin component.
Awesome, very, very nice. Thank you so much for presenting and for representing Nexus as well. Like Grace was saying, there is an opportunity for you guys to post your interest in Nexus and in the similar projects on that QR code that has been shared before, as well as that QR code will come back later on at the very end of the presentation. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
In addition, Grace is not only a Nexus participant, she is also a health associate, and so she will be back later on stage to introduce a further team down the road. So, great work there. So next up is Dr. Faye, Dr. Amajic Faye, and Nick Kasturi, who will be introducing her.
Associates, we've worked closely with our project team to incorporate feedback from our amazing mentors, Dan Levine, Dr. Joga Ibturi, and Dr. John Eager, specifically on honing in on a prospective customer base, as well as finding an easy commercialization pathway. But outside of these discussions with our mentors, the student associates have been analyzing the competitive landscape of AI surgical coaching, as well as robotic surgery, as well as finding potential pathways for regulatory approval through predicate devices. The student associates are so grateful for our experiences, as we've had the unique opportunity to work with many professionals in the healthcare field and apply our knowledge to relevant and interesting innovation. And with that, I'll hand it over to Anne to explain the project.
When someone has a good coach, they get feedback that's meaningful, actionable. Thank you. When someone has a good coach, they get feedback that's meaningful, actionable, and available when you need it. And that's what's missing from surgical training today. Sorry, that's what, oh my. Sorry. Hold on, this is not working. Okay, my apologies. And that's what's missing from surgical training today. And what's the cost if you don't have well-trained medical professionals? Millions of deaths that occur per year that are unnecessary, and billions of dollars that are unnecessarily spent. And there's also another cost, a more personal cost. So we interviewed more than 50 surgical residents and fellows as part of an NSF I-Corps program, and they said things like, we had to learn different techniques for the same case just because they wanted a different approach. There's no one available to coach me after hours, I can't practice independently, and I don't have real-time feedback beyond just, hey, you kind of messed that one up. And so what is our market opportunity? To develop a personalized master approach to accelerate surgical learning, improve patient outcomes, and more importantly, build confidence. Our Maven guidance bands are standalone haptic devices that we've shown can lead to significantly better operative performance even when you're not wearing them. And our goal is to create personalized training for any surgeon using any surgical skill and any surgical platform. Our team builds on over a decade of experience in real-time AI modeling, skilled human performance, and haptics for surgical training. And our founders and future CEOs and CTOs are former and current students who are eager to take this technology to market. There is some concerns, though, from our Texas Health Catalyst reviewers, mainly, will residency programs even use the technology? Do sim centers even have the budget to buy it? And how do you overcome barriers in an existing crowded surgical education landscape? So with our excellent mentors, John, Joga, and Dan, we talked about this, and we all agree that yes, residency programs they're gonna wanna use it, but they don't have the funds to buy it. So how's Maven going to create a path to market when our customers can't even buy the technology? We needed an aha moment, and we found it in the wise words of George Strait: we'll just give it away. So it cost me $20 to build this device, and even though surgical residency programs don't have much money, they sure do have a lot of friends. And so I'm going to call all of my friends that run sim centers in Dallas, Austin, and Houston, because they've already offered to test our device if I have enough of them. I'll ask them to introduce me to their friends, and with $50,000, I can make 2,500 devices. That means I can study and train 3 people in every single certified simulation center in the United States and in Canada. Pretty soon, surgeons are gonna wanna buy it. With our data analytics and software upgrades, insurers and hospitals, centers will want to have information to improve their credentialing pathways, and maybe they'll also buy them for their own students. And off-ramp is to partner to license our technology because we can offer something they don't have, guiding surgical expertise through the sense of touch.
Yeah, could you tell us more about monetization strategy? I mean, you mentioned that like $50 per device, and what's the main cost? What's the main revenue? And are you targeting B2B market or B2C?
Yeah, so I think the thing that we think will be sort of our moneymaker is really going to be the software and the analytics. The device itself will be relatively cheap. I think we could sell it for about the same cost of a Fitbit or an Apple Watch. And really the moneymaker is going to be in the data analytics.
So am I correct in understanding that this is a device that a surgeon would put on his wrist and it would kind of coach him as he's doing the surgery?
Yes, but not necessarily. And I sort of fumbled through my slides there, so you couldn't necessarily see it. This is our device right here. And yes, it can provide haptic feedback. And currently, the current embodiment is that it's worn on the wrist. But we're actively developing technology that could be worn on the upper arm. And that was sort of one of the videos that we were showing, that we can do motion tracking. And knowing things about the body size and things like that, we can estimate motions that may occur further down in the hands. So basically applying robotics principles to the data that we can collect. So we're hoping that in practice, if we can create the device that can be not interfere with the surgical field, that you can wear on your upper arm and still provide this meaningful feedback, which sometimes is actually really important, because a lot of things surgeons will do, especially in laparoscopic surgery, is like the chicken elbows. Well, that's controlled by your shoulder. Like, that has nothing to do with your hands. It has all to do with your shoulder, your back, your deltoids. And so I think there's a lot that we can do further somewhere else on the body. And that could be a big opportunity.
So quick question. I think you mentioned that it will guide them even if they're not wearing it or if they're
Yes.
not in surgery?
Yes, and that's what several of our recent research studies have shown. I'd be happy to point you to the publications. But training in this haptics environment, that we're noticing that it creates these after effects. That when we take the haptics away, and this is how we do all of our studies, we do training and then we do post-test without any haptic feedback to look at learning. And we're actually getting some really exciting results in terms of bimanual coordination and smoothness of movement, and ability to kind of keep your hands within a workspace, that we're seeing even when we take the device away.
Very nice. Thank you very much. Up next, our third of our presenters is going to come on screen in half a second. There we go. Then the third of our presenters is Ebony Caesar, and Neha Matthew will introduce her. And so, Neha, please.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Neha Matthew, and along with my fellow health associates, Ayan Karima Lee and Zulema Carrillo, we had the privilege of working with Dr. Ebony Caesar over the past couple of months on improving licensure efficiency for behavioral health care providers. We've worked with our mentors, Dr. Kasim Butt and Lori Cook, who have taught us about multiple facets of technical database creation, such as customer discovery and competitive mapping. As health associates, we had the privilege of coordinating meetings between our mentors and leads who taught us about specific customers who would benefit most from a more efficient behavioral health workforce pipeline. Through this unique experience, we have learned how modernizing licensure databases can directly support behavioral health care providers and expand access to care across the country. Now, with that being said, let us now welcome our wonderful project lead, Dr. Ebony Caesar.
Thank you so much, y'all. And speaking of technology and accommodations, I will identify as a COVID long hauler. So mine are right here in my hand, thanks to our technology. All right. So we know Texas faces a severe shortage of mental health professionals, particularly for children, adolescents, and transition-age youth. Through the Integrated Behavioral Health Scholars, or IBHS program, we've trained and placed over 300 interprofessional scholars across underserved communities. We've proven the model. Our curriculum works, our placements work, and our trainees stay in the field. Now we're ready to expand the technical infrastructure that will help them, and the thousands who come after thrive long-term. Our next phase in the development is of a portable, interoperable licensing and credentialing database. This system will launch using the incoming IBHS cohort as our foundational data population, tracking their educational milestones, supervision hours, licensure progress, and credentials across social work, psychology, psychiatry, and psychiatric nursing. Why is this innovation critical? Because across the US, highly trained professionals are leaving the workforce due to administrative bottlenecks, long delays in licensing processing, lost supervision hours, incomplete or inconsistent records, and no universal system for multi-site credentialing. These barriers disproportionately affect professionals of color, multilingual clinicians, and those from rural communities, individuals we urgently need to retain. Our proposed system will streamline licensure tracking and credentialing across disciplines and institutions, support professional mobility by providing portable digital profiles accessible to health systems, state boards, and academic institutions. It reduces attrition by eliminating barriers to timely advancement in employment, and most importantly, elevates the behavioral health workforce pipeline by pairing curriculum and practicum work with a tech-enabled pathway to licensure and supervision completion. We're not starting from scratch. We have the workforce development infrastructure, we have the interprofessional cohort. What we need is the technology. So, am I still on? Okay. With support from Texas Health Catalyst, we will build this system, not just for our own scholars, but as a replicable, scalable tool for our customers, other healthcare systems, universities, and more. Our first invitation for funding support to scale would be extended to our payer systems. This database aligns with the growing policy support for integrated, school-based telebehavioral care. It also creates real, sustainable change by reducing administrative friction and centering workforce retention. The Integrated Behavioral Health Practitioner Empowerment Initiative doesn't just train providers. It's now building the infrastructure to keep them. Thank you for our mentors. Again, as we mentioned, Dr. Butts, who definitely let us explore nephrology and told us about how the potential would be for providers all across our ecosystem, and to Lori Cook, who let us explore the commercialization and talked about the payer systems and included our cohort. Thank you.
Thank you. Could you tell us more about your team? I mean, do you have a technical,
Absolutely. So our health associates were amazing in developing essentially what is our product. This started out as just an idea. So we actually did have to develop a product that would actually assist the population we were trying to serve, which were practitioners.
So thanks for working on this. Have you looked at other specialties or other states that have done this before?
Indeed. We actually are collecting data around PsyPact and what psychology is doing in their cross-state licensure. We are looking at what we are not doing yet in Texas around that same idea. We are also looking at the stovepipe method that a lot of us have seen already, where you have CEU trackers or licensing boards that do it state by state, but nothing that's multi-site or comprehensive.
So how does this technology solution help help with workforce challenges? Like, does it keep track of all the different things people do so they can apply easier?
It does indeed. So it would be a system that essentially creates your profile. It houses your CV and any updates you have, your hard copy of your diploma, which all of us as practitioners are having to submit, all of your licensures, all your credentialing that you have already in the system. It's one place for everything, and Dr. Butt was actually our best provider for that because he collects all of his own materials because he is that meticulous. And so he was the first person to say, I would love this off my plate.
Wow, okay.
Great.
Thank
you very
you.
much. Then for the next presenter, I'm going to call Grace back on stage. I have the slides up. There you go. It's one too far, I think. You may have to. Grace, you can introduce your team, Dr. Hunter Dagon, and we'll figure out what's happening with the slides. Go ahead.
Hi again, my name is Grace, and this is John Natchvi and Aiden Chang. Over the past few months, we've had the privilege of working with Dr. Daigle and his team to help optimize delivery of high quality and efficient CPR. We are so grateful to our mentors, Travis Laird and Andrea Tomas, for the expert guidance they've provided us throughout this process. Now, as health associates, we helped advise our team on how best to bring our product to market, conducting research on market analysis, competitive landscape, and IP strategy. We're so excited to see the impact our CPR cart will have, not just on pediatric resuscitation standards across Texas, but potentially on patients of all ages around the world. Now sit up and tune in, because you don't want to miss what Dr. Daigle, attending physician in the Division of Critical Care at Dell Children's, has to say next.
What an intro. Thank you to our associates and our mentors for their support of this project. Unfortunately, pediatric cardiac arrest is not uncommon. There's about 15,000 pediatric cardiac arrests each year in the United States, and so survival is only about 40%. And in most hospital systems, the life-saving equipment is typically disorganized or it's inaccessible in carts that were designed decades ago. This can lead to delays in care, delays in CPR delivery, which can cost lives. In addition, there's significant cost to families and hospital systems as well. An average hospital stay after a CPR event is typically about 3 weeks in length and can cost up to $200,000. This inspired us to develop our first prototype, a dedicated CPR cart that's designed to bring the equipment that's needed to deliver CPR right to the bedside, including a step stool, a backboard, a CPR monitor at optimal viewing height, as well as CPR pads and airway monitoring equipment. By taking the equipment that's needed right at the bedside and pulling it away from the large traditional crash cart that's typically found on the market now, this allows for CPR to be delivered much more efficiently and quickly. We implemented this design at our hospital system across Dell Children's Medical Center last year. In a survey of about 200 hospital staff, our cart was preferred over a traditional pediatric crash cart, with staff rating it higher for ease of equipment access, better positioning in the room, and improvement in overall CPR quality. Our team includes myself and Drs. Amanda Perot and Ada Arp, and the three of us wear a variety of hats in the hospital, including leadership within our hospital's resuscitation and simulation teams. We have the unique advantage of being able to actually see the effects of cardiac arrest right at a patient's bedside. We can test changes through simulation and oversee implementation through our roles in hospital leadership. We're now looking to make our design better and share it more broadly. We've appreciated feedback from our reviewers and our mentors. We're hoping to seek expertise in human factors engineering to help improve the design. As far as our market strategy, we know that our purchase decision maker is going to be chief medical and chief operating officers, but we're hoping to explore distribution through a medical device manufacturer. As far as risk mitigation goes, from a return on investment, a typical cart may cost around $1,500, but that same individual cart may decrease the burden of a $200,000 hospital stay due to poor CPR delivery. On our path to market, we're hoping to work with human factors experts to help improve our design. We'll partner with the manufacturer to develop it. We'll test it through simulation. By licensing our product with an established manufacturer, we open the door to a market that's almost 6,000 hospitals across the United States and even more worldwide, with an estimated market price of about $1,500 to $3,000. The benefit of this design is that it's scalable to implement in a single unit or across an entire hospital, adaptable to use for pediatrics up to adult populations as well. We're incorporating evidence-based medicine into a single cart that can decrease the burden of cardiac arrest for all ages. Thank you.
Do you already have an IP on this product?
We're in the process of filing for that.
So when you compare what is currently happening with crash carts and the volume used and everything with this solution, which sounds like it would be in every room, is there a huge price difference in switching the system to this model?
That was part of our return of investment argument, in that it's not insignificant, the cost of kind of retrofitting these old carts, but we felt that we were able to implement this across our entire hospital system for a cheaper product, but it was $50,000 for our whole hospital. And for that investment to actually help improve, decrease morbidity, decrease mortality for patient lives, we felt that that cost was worth it.
So is it the same number of carts as the crash carts, or is it you need more?
It's not a replacement of the current crash cart, it's supposed to augment it. And so that current crash cart is full of all kinds of different stuff, and there's stuff billowing over the top of it. And so this is supposed to help streamline that, so it sits alongside the current crash cart.
So I'm on a list. So of course I have to ask, is this specific to peds only, or you can, sort of scale it to adult as well?
Yeah, that's one of the benefits of this, is that it's totally adaptable to scale up to adult patient populations as well, because all of the same devices are still going to be needed for adult CPR, including that step stool, the backboard, the pads, and the CPR monitor.
Very great work. And the final presentation for today will be done by Rashmi Patel as well, and be introduced by Naveed and Naveed. And
Hello, everyone. My name is Naveed, and I've had the privilege of serving as one of the health associates alongside my teammates, Paranitha and Shreya, to support an incredible innovation team led by Rashmi, Kritik, Tom, and David. Their project focuses on developing a software platform called TumorCast for personalized radiation therapy in glioblastoma patients. It aims to improve treatment precision and patient outcomes. Our role has centered on helping the team prepare for commercialization by identifying early gaps in their clinical and market strategy. We work closely with the team to refine their problem framing, clarify their target users and beachhead market, and develop a roadmap for stakeholder engagement. Working with our exceptional mentors, Dr. Backer, Dr. Graham, and Dr. Jin, has been a truly impactful experience, and they've taught us how to translate brilliant innovations into impactful healthcare solutions. It's been inspiring to see our team's progress, and we're confident their platform has the ability to transform the standard of care for radiation therapy in glioblastoma patients. And with that, I'll turn it over to Rashmi to introduce the project. Thank you.
All right, thank you so much, Naveed. So I want to start off by introducing our problem, in this case, the disease we're facing. When a patient comes into the clinic and receives a glioblastomic diagnosis, this is essentially a death sentence. They have a 12 to 18-month median survival rate. And because this is such a common and aggressive form of brain cancer, there's definitely a need to optimize treatment outcomes. To give you an idea of the scope of the market, in 2022, it was estimated at $2.5 billion, and it's growing at an annual rate of nearly 10%. So the issue here is that clinicians lack the tools to accurately predict and, more importantly, optimize the response to treatment. And without this optimization, it isn't possible to improve outcomes for individual glioblastoma patients. This is a gap we're trying to fill with TumorCast. So TumorCast uses MRI data, as you can see here, as well as a mathematical model to predict and, more importantly, optimize the response to treatment. You can see on the top here a standard of care dose map, one that might be used in the clinic currently. And then on the bottom, we see our personalized dose map that came out of the TumorCast model. So the standard of care dose map here, the tumor was predicted to grow by 5%. Whereas when we use the personalized dose map from TumorCast, the tumor was instead predicted to shrink by 35%. So you can see there's a clear potential to give patients extra months or even years with this technology. On our team, I want to point out that we have experts in mathematical oncology, and in particular, who have been working on modeling this problem for over 10 years. We also have clinical collaborators from MD Anderson Cancer Center, the foremost cancer institute in the nation. And then we have both undergraduate and graduate students who are dedicated to this work and ready to carry on into the next stages. So we have the technical knowledge and the clinical collaborations to move our product from the bench to the market. We have already completed our first step of building and validating our tool. Next, we want to prepare for market entry by pitching to both imaging and radiation treatment planning vendors. And finally, we'll leverage these clinical collaborations to launch in the clinic. The mentor feedback process was incredibly valuable. We selected glioblastoma as our beachhead market because of the poor prognosis, clinicians are more open to adapting treatment. And then we have pending clinical trial grants, and we are working on a cloud-based integration into the clinic. Finally, we've identified Varian Siemens as a likely investor, as they own the majority of the radiation oncology market. So with TumorCast, we aim to save lives, save time, and save money. Thank you so much.
So based on the feedback that you've received so far, have you made changes to the product or you tweaked some things based on what people have told you, or is that a future thing that you're going to be doing later on?
So a lot of the feedback we had was more what sort of data we need to collect to implement, and how we need to make our existing technology workable in the clinic. So we have already started building this cloud-based framework. That was one of the big things. And then we're planning on collecting some of this health economics data so we can pitch to potential investors and vendors better.
I mean, usually the downside of customization is difficult to scale. Do you have any issue in this case?
So I would say, while we are customizing, we're using the same inputs from every patient. MRI data right now is part of the standard of care. We're not using any modalities that are outside of the standard of care. And then the only other thing we would need is a patient's treatment schedule. So while it is customizable, it uses the same data.
Have you looked at cost to sort of deploy and go to
Yeah, that's absolutely a big limitation of this. I would say the main hurdle we have right now is we need to come up with a regulatory and reimbursement framework. So if we can get insurance companies to adopt it, our pitch is that in the long term for both hospitals, patients, and payers, this is going to be a cost-effective method if we can, keep maybe reduce dosages or keep patients out of the hospital. But to do so, we would, of course, need that kind of approval and coding.
All right, thank you very much. And so with that, we have our we're going to ask our three judges. Thank you very much for your judging work. We're going to send you with Praneeth to deliberate. I also want to thank our health associates for introducing all the teams, and the teams, all of you guys for presenting today, because with that we have finished our the second set of presenters, and we are going to move to obviously the audience favorite, voting. And so you can go ahead and vote. Speakers, you can also vote, obviously. I'm going to leave this QR code up for just a few more seconds. Right, and then hand it up back to Ruben to introduce the next speaker.
Great, thank you. Thank you, Martin. I'm back. So, so you've heard about these amazing technologies and the people around them, amazing health associates who are supporting these teams, and of course the mentors. These are more than ideas, but they're still early. And you heard from Steve, our ROI, at least I think, is pretty impressive. And so we wanted to give you a taste of what happens after post-Catalyst. And often the follow-on funding comes through grants, maybe corporate investment, sometimes equity investment. First, we wanted to highlight what UT does to support these projects after they go through Catalyst program. And I want to introduce you to Mike Yost, who is part of Discovery to Impact. He heads up the Life Science Development Program, where he supports many of the projects that go through Catalyst and through other channels as well. And then I'll also ask Mike to introduce you to two of Catalyst alums to give you a sense of what happens to these projects as they move forward. Mike.
Thanks, Ruben. Well, great, and thank you all for being here, and this is terrific. I absolutely love to listen to each and every one of these presentations. Thank you all. That was awesome. I loved it. So I am Mike Yost. I'm the Director of Life Science Technology Development for UT Austin. What does that really mean? Well, it means we take the really cool stuff that you guys are getting. We work with our colleagues at Discovery to Impact to get the intellectual property pulled together and organized. And then we try to get you to the next step. And what are those next steps? Well, one of those is you may need incubation space. So we just opened our 10,000 square foot incubator on Parma Ridge. Yes, it's north of campus. But hey, if you live north of campus, it's close by. So it is a state-of-the-art facility. Got modular space. We've got a lot of equipment, shared equipment. We've got cell culture, all those kinds of things that you can use. And we're building our community around that. I will tell you that space is going fast, really, really fast. We've got a lot of people very interested. We have a wait list already for people, and we're pushing people out, and saying, hey, we can probably get you in maybe November, but it is just an amazing outreach of people that want to join us out there. So if you get a chance, contact anybody from Discovery to Impact, and we can get you a tour out there if you want to take a look at it and think about how that might fit into your plans. A few companies that have joined us already or in the process. One's Pattern Bioscience. Pattern's done, and I do use these with permission. I can't tell you anything out there that's not by permission, but they have a single cell microbiology, decodes metabolic patterns of individual bacteria cells. Really cool team, really well funded, doing a great job. Lantha Sensors is going to be joining us temporarily, and they do chemical analysis solutions for speed and simplicity, not specific in the life science, but we're just bridging them over to their actual new space that they're building. So we're just kind of a way to get there. And we're really excited about Scripter joining us. Steve Ecker, Scripter, joining us in the rare disease RNA therapy space. Steve was instrumental in bringing those guys to us. We're very excited to have them out there. So we're really building this ecosystem, and it's a combination of people from UT as well as people from the outside. Right now, we're going to be about 70% outside, 30% UT. We will always have space, at least one bench for a UT company to come out and get their work done. Now, I also want to talk to you about life science technology development. Great ideas coming through Catalyst, great ways of getting some IP, but what's the next step? Because people think traditionally, oh, I need to go get venture funding. I'm going to tell you, we're not there yet. A lot of these just aren't ready for venture funding, and we could talk about that in detail. But UT can help bridge you. We can help get you those killer experiments done that you have to say whether this is a go, no go. We can help you pull together your marketing plan. We can help you pull together your technology plan, make sure you have the right indication, all those things. And we can help you do that. And we do have UT dollars that can go towards that. So some of the people have come through our program, and I believe every one of these has also come through the Catalyst. So, you know, Rana Ghosh and his team with aerosolized targeted lipid nanoparticles, the Trinity Tube, I mean, very popular program that came through here with Alan Groves and that team. Cystionase with Everett Stone, that one is very popular, getting a lot of traction around that drug. Breath IQ with Tanya Hutter was another one that's coming through our program, and we're developing it and taking it forward. Some more that we have is we have a bacterial peptide mRNA delivery platform with Dr. Davies and Dr. Ellington. Phase chemistry with Ken Su, you've heard about. Homocysteine homocysteonase is coming out of Everett Stone's lab, and then kynurenase, we're looking to partner with MD Anderson for clinical trials in that technology. So a lot of these technologies, we're pushing you out to the next step, helping you get lined up for professional management, helping you get lined up with a scientific advisory board so that you can really take that step into the venture world. So that's what we're trying to do, and UT is backing it. A couple more, New STEM, Evan Wang on the ultrasound therapeutics, and of course the language decoder from Alex Huth. The first question I got when we started looking at that one was, does it work on dogs? And we just thought that was so cool, you know? What a cool technology. Anyway, that's us, and anybody that wants any further information, contact anybody in Discovery to Impact. Go to our website. You can find all of us, and any of us can get you to the right place. So thank you for that. And with next, I should introduce our next guest. Oop. All right. There we are. Okay. So our next guest is an alum from this program, Rebecca Duquette, and she is going to talk about Novaderm.
Hello, everyone. My name is Rebecca Duquette. I'm the founder and CEO of Novaderm. I'm a former Texas Health Catalyst recipient, and from that funding, I was able to develop a prototype of my product, do some initial R&D, and figure out my FDA pathing. So diabetic foot ulcers are a devastating complication of diabetes. Due to the underlying conditions such as peripheral neuropathy, reduced blood flow, foot deformities, and dry cracked skin, 1 in 4 patients of diabetes will experience a foot ulcer within their lifetime. 20% of these people will then need a lower extremity amputation, and this is correlated to a 30% 5-year mortality rate, which is significant and rivals the leading pooled cancers. Current approaches to diabetic foot ulcer prevention are typically an orthotic device. So whether you already have a wound on your foot, or you have a pressure hotspot that's been identified from your podiatrist or your endocrinologist, or you've undergone some type of foot surgery to correct malformity in your foot, you're prescribed an orthotic from your provider. However, what I discovered through my extensive market research, going to diabetic clinics, seeing patients, talking to clinicians, is that these orthotics actually are causing new wounds on the back of the foot and underneath the toes of the patient. So the mainstay of diabetic foot ulcer prevention is actually causing new wounds. So that's where my product comes in. I've developed a topical preventative for diabetic foot ulcer, and it is antimicrobial, angiogenic, shear thinning, and electrically conductive. In the future, it could incorporate analgesics, antibiotics, healing factors, and even biosensing, so we can detect microbial infection at very early stages. So through Texas Health Catalyst and subsequent NSF funding, I was able to develop a minimum viable product, which is a topical preventative that can be applied to intact skin of type 2 diabetic patients to prevent the initial ulcer. The product is expected to have a serviceable, obtainable market within the US, targeting the total diabetic ulcer patient population, which is a $79 billion market annually. So thank you for your time, and especially thank you to Texas Health Catalyst for really sending me on this journey to get funding and see this product through, and I'm excited for the next stage.
All All right, our next guest is, and I need your name on the slide. Oops, Zach. Zach is here from Biotherapeutics, and he's going to talk about his experience since the Health Catalyst.
Perfect, thank you. So yes, mine is mostly about kind of where that journey took us. Again, not every experiment is successful, but that doesn't mean to say that it didn't get us off on the right start. So with our funds, we were able to secure a fast track contract with through the NIH and SBIR for small business, and that kind of got our business going. And with this drug that we were developing, this is an inhaled therapeutic for TB, so this isn't treating your downtown population in large city centers. We needed something that was very low cost and efficient. So this is a keep it simple sort of drug product that we were developing here. And so getting grant funding was exactly the sort of thing we felt was appropriate for our product we were designing. And so we moved forward, getting efficacy studies that were very promising. We were able to GMP manufacture this at a large scale, then conduct our GLP tox studies, which for inhaled therapeutic was very difficult, but we were able to get through that. And then we had our meeting with the FDA for a pre-IND meeting, and that was all quite successful. And so now we're just working on moving this into clinic with next stages of funding. But this idea became a little bit more complicated when a competitor got a lot more money than we did and is at a very, very fast start. But it didn't just stop here. It also kind of changed and grew into other products that we added to our portfolio as well. So this is another product that kind of came out of that exact same technology that was very low cost that, with the same drug product, but instead of just inhaled, we thought more about pediatrics at the time and having something that would be easier for children with TB. Since we already had the technology and we already had some of the preliminary evidence as a comparator in our studies. And so we then came up with this mini tab product, which if you want to learn more, we're having a webinar with Austin Pharmaceutics up in Georgetown, who helped us do the GMP manufacturing for this. That was also with an SBIR contract. And those opportunities, along with our collaborations through UT, have allowed us to start up many other products as well, including other treatments. Mostly inhaled antibiotics is kind of our specialty, and then also inhaled cosmetics for lung health, and helping others also turn their ideas into drug products with the specialties we've grew at our company. Thanks.
All right, thank you. Thank you, Zach. So, all right, final stretch. So I just wanted to reflect quickly on the energy and ingenuity of the projects and the people that you've just witnessed today. Obviously, like I said before, these are not just ideas, they are viable solutions that are potentially going to be life-changing solutions in the real world. And they're driven by these incredibly energetic, passionate teams who are putting their time and expertise into solving these pressing challenges. And I just want to thank all of you for participating, for collaborating with us, and really all of you make Texas Health Catalyst this beacon of innovation that it is today. So thank you very much. I hope you'll join us for our reception and the awards for the pitch competition upstairs on the 8th floor, together with food and drinks, of course. Mentors, please do not forget to collect your little token of appreciations that we have on the left-hand side here. Thank you all, and hope to see you upstairs. Yeah, bye-bye.